Hey everyone, Shannon with Apogee of the Moon. Sorry for my hiatus. I have been dealing a lot with sickness and crazy, weird things happening. So just know it has not been fun being me for the last little bit, at least not physically. So coming on, I want to talk about August 8th through August 14th. And so we have on the 8th a new moon coming up. And this one sounds interesting. So for those of you that, know me or have listened to me talk about my personal placements, I am a Leo ascendant. A late degree, so this isn't going to hit my ascendant, but it will be in square with Uranus, which is bang on my my midhaven point. So what we're going to talk about, what I do with my screen here. I don't have a screen to share with you, but I do have my notes for this new moon. So with this new moon, the aspects that are going on, obviously sun, moon coming together conjunct, dark moon, rest, contemplation, release, right? We always have to remember that everybody gets so excited about the new beginnings that are happening. Well, yeah, but what about the letting go that needs to happen too? So as we wind down from a full moon to a new moon, there's a release that happens. There's a letting go of something that no longer serves you, someone that no longer serves you, something, an event, a person, like all the nouns, person, place, thing, right? I'm sure there's more nouns, unicorns, I don't know. I'm not going to try to keep up with the lingo, just so you're all aware. So this new moon happening at 16 degrees of Leo is in square with Uranus. It's activating the Tsquare, but it's more so activating the Uranus side of it, right? It's activating the liberation, the freedom, the wild card energy, the shocking, out of the blue, coming from left field kind of energy, right? And so this to me is, well, I'm not going to get political. So with this new moon, with the chaos, with the craziness, with everything that we know that we need to change, and maybe we haven't, maybe we're trying to go more towards that Saturnian side, because we know that when we pull the trigger, chaos will ensue. So, it's that. Or if you've been more of the Uranian side and just blowing your life up just because you can, obviously you're going to have to deal with Saturn. So no matter what way you go with this new moon, no matter what way you go with this square aspect that's been ongoing all year, it's a doozy. And it's yes, it's liberating, yes, it's freeing, yes, it's for the long term, yes, you need to make sure that what you're doing is what it is that you need to be doing, and not just blowing your life up to blow your life up. Some people do, that's fine. Hey, you know what, lessons, right? But do be aware of blowing things out of proportion with this new moon, and be aware that while we did have that full moon at 1 degree of Aquarius, that was the first culmination point. We're going to have a second full moon coming up at 29 degrees of Aquarius. We're going to be revisiting some themes and in a different way, and putting stuff to bed or stuff from the past coming back for completion when we get there. Right now we're in the mid degrees of Leo. It's kind of like the midpoint of Leo. So that's where we are with that. We have a chance to let something go with this new moon as well that's no longer serving us, to move on and into something new. But you have to remember, new moons, you give up something to get something. And so with this square to Uranus, This is a big one. And this could be shocking across the board to anyone looking in from the outside, because obviously people cannot read your mind. People can't read your mind. Okay, we'll keep that as a blanket statement. People can't read your mind. People don't have, you know, the bird's eye view of your life, watching everything you're doing, being inside your head 24/7, knowing what your thoughts are, anything like that. So whatever happens surrounding this new moon energy, this new beginning, but this big letting go that you need to do as well, this is going to be shocking for the world, for everyone, for, you know, anyone that is represented in that Taurus Uranus place. So that being said, you know, move on. We've beat that horse to death. So you know, what dogma do we need to let go in order to move forward? And, you know, upcoming, what do we need to take into consideration that will benefit not just us, but everyone else involved? That's that Saturn in Aquarius. And then, you know, our thinking will not be clear because Mercury will be combust. We did just have the Cazimi this last weekend, and personal story, it's Leo season. I can talk about me, whatever. So I was actually with my best friend. My best friend and I have been best friends for over 20 years now. And I actually looked at the time, and we were coming up to, we were about an hour out from the full Cazimi. And so about an hour before, hour after, usually is for Mercury, is the actual Cazimi part where you can get clarity and insight. We had some very profound conversation in that, you know, couple of hours. And so a lot of things were illuminated for both of us, not just me, but for her too. So it was really good, and it was much needed. So that being said, now we're kind of confused about the clarity point, right? We're kind of anxious about the clarity point and the next steps that need to happen. And so, you know, we need to take a step back, calm the anxiety and anxious energy of our mind to be able to see where we need to go. And so as Mercury moves farther away from the sun just after this new moon, we can start to think more rationally, more logically. And as Mercury actually enters Virgo, you know, in a few days, because a few days after this new moon, Mercury will be hightailing it out of Leo into its home sign, exaltation of Virgo. So our thinking will, you know, take on that more practical approach. You know, Mars and Venus are already here. So it's going to be making a sign-based conjunction with both of these, and it will conjunct Mars here in a little bit. So, you know, our thoughts can start to take shape and form, and we can become more pragmatic and practical and driven towards taking action, right? That's that Mars component. In relations, right? That's that Venus component with the sign-based conjunctions, right? Of both Venus and Mars here in Mercury's home sign. Mercury's here now, kind of, you know, amping up the energy, if you will, of Virgo. And so that's on the 8th. On the 9th, we will have Venus come into her exact opposition with Neptune. And so this is not a fun aspect. Trust me, I have this in my natal chart. The people in our lives may not be who they seem. We can be wearing rose-colored glasses in relationship and see people in the best possible light that we can see them, only to be bamboozled and taken for a ride. So you have to learn to be discerning when you have this aspect. Luckily, you know, this is not something that is going to last for a long time because Venus is moving. She's not retrograde. She's not going to, you know, slow down or anything like that right now. So Venus, it'll just be a couple of days. Just be discerning with the people and the money that you're spending and what's going on with the finances and the relationships and all that. You know, Venus being in Virgo, and, you know, and Mars being here, we can utilize logic, discernment, and even, you know, you can use this as like an intuition kind of thing. but there can't be any fear there, right? So that's the thing about intuition, is that if there's fear there, it's not going to be accurate. You're going to be going down your own trauma response if that's the case. So it is a fleeting energy, like I said, and Venus will move on in a few days. So just be aware that, you know, things may not be as they seem. Maybe if it's too good to be true, it is. So just be aware of that. On the 10th, Mercury will oppose Jupiter. So we may need to balance the day-to-day thoughts and, you know, mindsets that we have against our worldview and our dogma. You know, with Mercury still in the prideful sign of Leo, maybe, you know, we can overload with those fast-paced kind of quick thoughts because it is a fire sign, right? And with Jupiter in the sign of collectivism and the masses, you know, we can come up against opposition from the groups of people wanting to pretty much subjugate individuals for their opinions, but also know that that can also be the reverse, is that individuals can be harassing large groups of people. So, you know, this can be one person standing against the many, or, you know, the many harassing the one. So it's both. On August 11th, Mercury will enter Virgo, so it will refresh in the sign. And then Venus will also trine Pluto here on this day. So Mercury in Virgo is both at home and in its exaltation, like I said before. And this means that Mercury is being renewed, revitalized, refreshed, more pragmatic thinking, more pragmatic speaking, practical thought processes, putting everything in the proper order, getting everything all organized. Love it. So it's going to just be more Virgo energy, right? But with Venus and Mars here, like I said earlier, the flavor is a little bit different. You know, Venus will be leaving soon after she makes her trine to Pluto, very perceptive Pluto, right? But until then, she's offering her charm, her wit, you know, her support to Mercury as he comes home. And, you know, Venus and Mercury like each other. So with Venus, you know, making this trine to Pluto, we can utilize very deep penetrative focus to make sure we are restructuring, because remember, Pluto is retrograde. So getting very deep within ourselves, and reorganizing and redoing the practical, pragmatic relationships we have in our lives at this point in time. So she will go retrograde this winter over Pluto. She'll conjunct him, I think, 3 times. So we'll be reevaluating this area, but for now, it's working, right? So that is what I have for next week's energy. And I know, yep, I didn't, I did not prepare my slides, and I don't have my cards at the ready. So, yeah, I guess we'll just leave it as a general forecast for this week, and I'm not going to go into all 12 signs. I'm still recovering. I still kind of have some weird stuff going on. Like today, out of the blue, I got a headache, and I had to take half the day in bed. Fun. So yeah. With that being said, though, this is pretty intense energy. Just with the sun involved, right? Our egos are involved. Our, you know, Mercury, our mind is involved. Fun times on the little blue marble we call Earth, right? So I hope you all are staying safe out there. I hope you all are using your mind, right, to discern what's real, you know, if you can, because who knows what's real right now. And I'm rambling. So we're going to end this before I say way too much and get myself in trouble. So I hope you all have a great week, and yeah, just stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.